And may I now request Mr. Manish Kothari, Managing Director, Rhino Machines, to discuss about the innovations in India aligned with the vision of PM Narendra Modi for Make in India and Made in India. He will talk about the Indian foundries embracing Indian innovation. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody, and I thank MMR for giving this opportunity to share some that innovations are happening in India also and how Indian foundries are embracing the innovations. And Rhino Machines, maybe many people know, maybe don't know. So I'll just give a brief introduction. The topic which we are discussing is how Indian foundries have embraced Indian innovations. Before going further, there was a quote from the National Innovation Foundation chief that what exactly is innovation, because when I had gone to attend one seminar, that science can invent something, technology can transform, but innovation is something which has to create an impact. Innovation is not just I have done something, but it should have an impact, a measurable impact, which can help the industry. So we are talking of innovations which will create an impact, and I'll try to share some of the innovations which have been done and are going on. So Rhino Machines started in 83 by my father, R.C. Kothari. He's a metallurgist, and I joined in 91. And we have gone through a journey from foundry technology with our own Indian technology and partnering global partners like Fondag, FATA across the world. As we progressed, the next step which everybody has been discussing about human resource, we stepped into human resource development along with two of the government agencies. One is with National Skill Development Corporation, who and the Swiss government partnering Skillsonics, and are trying to engage into skill development for technicians at the working level. I'm not talking of foundry technologists, but at the bottom level. And the second, as with Mr. Paneerselvam, we have started a Center of Excellence for Smart Manufacturing in trying to bridge the industry skill gap with the industry. The third area where I have my friend Aditya here, we are joining two innovators from the Global Clean Tech Innovation Program, where we are trying to bring whatever you are talking about data, about rejection, about measurements. We are talking of online, we are talking of real time. There's on time, real time, on the cloud, how to acquire and bring it into one platform. The next area where we have started is in lean management, again, which is related to the data acquisition. And the last one is a little different, but it is transforming our production methodology into garment manufacturing. Instead of cutting metal, we are cutting cloth. So that is the last innovation where Rhino Machine has joined. Now, I have tried to map foundry in whole. So if you see, there is metal, we can divide the foundry into different areas, as we have been talking, mold, core, metal, fettling, sand, till we have the dispatch of the casting. And why we need innovation? We need innovation in energy, we need in waste, we need in costs, we need in operational efficiency, productivity, manpower, handling, maintenance, rejections, environment, process. There's a lot of things going on in the foundry, and innovations are required in lot of areas, and probably more than this. We have tried to address some of these, and I'll share those with you. The first one, which we did in 2012, around we started working on an EcoFlex sand plant, which is a sand handling system innovation using belt conveyors instead of bucket elevators. These were the first foundries who embraced them were Varsha Iron in Belgaum, Sagar Ferrex in Rajkot, small and medium sized foundries. We are more and more identified with MSMEs. So these companies have taken this innovation, and one of the unique parts of this innovation is we have hosted lunch in a working foundry beside a working plant 2 times in 1.5 years, and many of the people have seen it. The last was hosted by the Belgaum Foundry Cluster a month back, and I'll share a video link if anybody wants to see that how you can create an environment which a person will enjoy working in. So this was the users. The innovation was recognized because of the deliverables. As I said, innovation needs to have an impact. So one of the biggest impact it had was a 30 to 50% lower consumption of power, installed power, which has a huge value when you convert into the total foundry scenario. It is nearly 7,000 megawatts of energy every year for the Indian foundries, which is not a small value. At the same time, as I was saying, healthy and safe working environment. Today, this example I normally give is that when I go with my wife to a foundry, she would never enter. And this is the only foundry where she could sit for 10 hours without saying that I want to go. So that is the neatness, and it creates an environment, as somebody was saying that, do you want a foundry where your children will go and work? So we are trying to create that environment with this innovation. And MSME identified this innovation last year. They put us in this program, Global Clean Tech Innovation Program. And it was the first time we realized that in India, innovation is also recognized, and took us to this platform. And this innovation was even displayed in the Rashtrapati Bhavan in March in the Festival of Innovation. This program was more for the investor, but it has given us a bigger platform and connectivity, and one of the connectivity is with Equilibrium, because we are on the same platform in the top 6, and today we two innovators of the country are trying to bridge our knowledge together to see how we can leverage it. The second has been the molding process, which my father always used to say, we'll never make a jolt squeeze machine in our life. We never used to make molding machines, but he always believed that if you want to make a machine, it has to be high pressure, otherwise never make a copy of a jolt squeeze machine. So we have been working on this since 2008, 2009, and it was displayed in IFEX 2010 when Mr. Panchal was there as the head of that program, and we were one of the 3 people who were recognized. It is already now working in 25 foundries. We have enabled small foundries producing 100 tons per month to upgrade their process from hand molding to high pressure molding, take a big step forward in their process control. There are 3, PEFCO in Pune is also having 2 machines right now in production. They are replacing the jolt squeeze machines. Again, the deliverables, when you are talking of the impact, this product has once again been selected in the Global Clean Tech Innovation Program represented by our engineer Gajendra, where we have a saving again of 30% as compared to compressed air. We use hydraulic energy. And combined with the energy and the reduction of the weight variation, the impact we consider is nearly 31,000 megawatt hours of energy every year. If you convert from compressed air molding technology to this technology, and if I take 2,000, 3,000 foundries in India doing this, and we are talking of the small and medium, not of the large foundries who can afford fully automatic plants. There are challenges in establishing the process. We have gone through a very long journey, and still there's a long way to go to ensure that there's a process stability. The one more area which today we are not taking care, but I'm sure in the coming days the pollution norms will not allow jolt squeeze machines to operate in India because of the noise pollution. We are buying machines which are prohibited in Europe. Jolt squeeze machines are not allowed to be sold in Europe because of the noise pollution, and India is still buying them day in, day out. The only reason is they were not affordable. The technologies was available but not affordable, and this is what, again, as I said, we are selected in the GCIP program once again this year for energy efficiency. The third area which we have started working with Fata Aluminium for last 2.5, 3 years has been sand reclamation. Everybody has been talking of waste and solutions. We have already done the solutions. The first solution user is in Coimbatore Aquasub, who have given us this platform to put this product on their. If you see, the plant is being installed right beside their existing sand handling plant. There is no manpower involved. The sand is taken, reclaimed and put back into the system. We have been able to reduce 50% to 60% of their new sand addition into the molding sand. Because sand reclamation you need for 3 areas. I will not go into the details. It's a different subject. So one is in the molding sand. The second is in thermal reclamation, which is very common, and I think Dr. Gnanamurthy also has that thermal. And the third is converting from green sand to usable core sand. That technology is also available, and we are trying to implement that in India. It's already working overseas. This technology, I still remember the words of my father. He has seen this technology in the 60s. This is not something which is very new. It is more than 50 years old. But we have adapted this and made it viable in the Indian condition. We have not created this technology. We have innovated to ensure that this technology can be used by people and foundries. If you see the deliverable again of this is there's a use of up to 75% of the sand can be reused. Your dust collected, which we have taken from Aquasub, we have been able to use for making bricks, replacing fly ash. So in a sense, we have made a zero discharge with sustainability aspect also, because as there was a comment that the quality of silica sand keeps on changing, your consumptions and rejections keep on varying. So if you are able to reclaim your own sand and maintain your own silica content and the grading of sand, definitely your rejection control improves and your variations go down. If you take on the impact of this on carbon emissions, because of the transport of sand, if we take 30% of this sand out of 10 million tons, which is being used by our country as per 2014 production, we are talking of 49.5 million kgs of CO2 emission every year. This is not a very small quantity. We are talking of 22.5 million liters of diesel being consumed just to transport the sand from Gudur to another factory or from any mine to this factory. So it is not only the sustainability of the own foundry, it's also having a larger impact. This is, as I explained, we are a NSDC training center where we are delivering skill development for school students. We are trying to train right from the bottom and following the VET, Vocational Education Training Structure of Switzerland and most of the Europe, where class 9 and class 10 students are given high quality of education and training along with the industry and absorb. Plus, we are now setting up a training program for industries for automation for the machines. So we are going to reach out to schools, engineering colleges, industries and the society. This is the main goal of the skill development. The fourth and the last one, which we are now launching, and the first prototype is launched in Ahmedabad. The first product is in Gujarat. The second will be in Jalandhar. The third will be in Rajkot. Is Smart Sense, which is to create a smart foundries. I heard we are talking of Internet of Things. We are talking of everything on the cloud. We are bringing the hardware and the software combination with our partners Equilibrium, which is an IIM incubate, and bringing all the data on the cloud, which will enable not only energy management, which is normally available, collecting all the metallic data from your furnace, the temperature, your heat-wise record, your sand system record, all the areas in the foundry which a foundry owner would like to have on his desktop or his dashboard. that today at 11 o'clock what happened. So we are talking of real time. Real time is sitting on your mobile anywhere in the world. You should be able to know what is going on in your foundry. So the impact finally would be improving profitability, saving on waste, and a reliable 24/7 data. So if you see the 5 innovations, one is from darkness to light, the EcoFlex plant. Molding is noise to sound, something which you would like to hear. Reclamation is waste to money. Skilling is from school to skill. And data is from approximate to actual. Thank you very much for this time, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing the lean approach and the technology indigenization with us today. May I request Dr. Anirudh Karve, Managing Director, Morgan Crucibles, to present the memento to our session authors. Mr. Karve is here. May I request my colleague, Ms. Sushma, to escort Mr. Karve. Can we have a round of applause for the session audience, please? Thank you, sir. As we are running short of time, we can take the question answer later during the lunch. We have yet another presentation before we break here for lunch. It is totally technical and equally interesting. Mr. Muniraj Madayan, Application Engineer, Magma India, will present the aspects of gating and metallurgical optimization for iron castings. Mr. Muniraj is at present involved in casting development for critical railway components. He will discuss about the gating and metallurgical optimization for iron castings.
Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Myself Muniraj from Magma Engineering. I am working as an application engineer past 3 years. So I would like to thank first of all MMR Groups to such a wonderful opportunity to present our product Magma as well as my case studies in such a good platform. Today my subject is gating and metallurgical optimization for iron castings. So by using the gating, how it will be behavior, the result of castings, the quality of castings, and changing the chemical compositions, how it will be your metallurgical property and mechanical property, how it will be changed. That I am going to explain briefly. So before going to technical, just I want to brief introductions about our Magma. In Asia Pacific regions, in Singapore is our head office. So next, Magma Asia Pacific in Hyderabad in India is our branch office India. So Korea, China and US, Chicago and Brazil, so and Turkey. So these are our branch office in worldwide as well as the offices. So this is our worldwide customers, around 1800 customers worldwide, as well as we are installed the 3500 installations, licensed installations worldwide. So these are our major customers around the worldwide. So 80% of our customers are SMEs. In India, branch office at Hyderabad. So we are regionally north, south, west, east, so we are divided. So customers are in India. We are reached around 100 customers in India. So major customers, they are using our product. So this is Magma branch office India, our team. So there are 5 technical people in ferrous side, and there are 3 technical team in non-ferrous side. One is academy, and one is IT supports. IT is license administrator, whatever. And marketing, Mr. Srikanth, and so accounts department, sales and support. So this is Sigma. Sigma is one of our plastic injection molding simulation software. In Magma India, our customers measures 25% of non-ferrous, 42% of iron customers, and 33% of steel customers. Customer profile based on our applications. Sand castings around 22%, HPDC, high pressure die casting 8%, low pressure die casting 8%, GD 15%, investment casting 6%, sand casting, steel applications 30%, and Isamatic those are using 11%. So industrial wise applications, automotive industries iron 15%, automotive industries non-ferrous 12%, green sand, iron 12%, general non-ferrous 6%, general steel 7%, heavy iron 14%, heavy steel 17%, valve bodies castings 17%. So in present conditions today, reaching the improvement casting process today, so initial stage they are developing the, so first of all they are making the castings in 3D modeling, and they are doing some methoding. So whatever they based on the models of castings, they are making the runner risers, and also they are importing into the simulation software, and they are making the individual simulations. First they will importing the designs, they analyze, then if it is wrong, so they are going to modification designs. So it will be cycling process. So once you will get the good achievements, it will be goes to the final product. Improved state going to the productions. So this is present conditions which they are using the simulation software in research and development to develop the castings. But Magma introducing new methodology in foundry applications, that we can say the optimizations. So how it will be works, how it will be virtual test field in this. Process variables, what are the process variables we can do? So design variables like chills and locations and riser variables, and machining allowance padding, and local cooling rate, gradient compositions, gradient, feeder dimensions and locations. These are the process variables. We can both process variables as well as design DOE. We can say the design of experimental. Both we can include here. So next, quality criteria. What are the quality criteria we can expect during the develop the castings? So they have to achieve the zero defect porosity, and the properties, metallurgical and mechanical properties. So inclusions, defects, and hard here crack wise. What are the cracks they are facing in the castings? And objectives, production wise objectives. Minimize porosity, realize the property of in specific range, and maximize yields to productivity. So these all the criteria we are considering in the optimizations at single time. So how it will works? So this is present situations which you had already discussed: individual simulation, manual analysis, the remodification. If it is okay, then going to build. So this we can say the one-dimensional optimizations. But in Magma we are introducing process variables. That means we are going to analyze process variables. What are the chemical composition changing, sand property changing. So these are the things. And DOE, design of experimental, riser design change, and getting dimensions changes. See, all the things we are implementing at the time. So what will happen during simulations? Automatically it will be take the designs, modification designs, whatever you are giving the inputs, lower limit, upper limit, that inputs automatically the simulations it will be take. So it will be run the simulations. So this is, we can say, the virtual design of experimental, including process as well as DOE. So our target is virtual optimizations. So if you do the optimization method, so you will get the good economic, and we can develop the quick development. the development time we can reduce. And good quality of castings, so the best compromise for overall the optimizations. So here I would like to present some case studies. This is related with our DOA, design of experimental. So my objective for this project, my objective is reduce porosity, increase yield, reduce in-gate velocity. So if it is achieve the reduce low in-gate velocity, you can control the your sand inclusions and oxidation inclusions as well as air entrapment issues. So reduce air entrapment, so as well as air pressures. So what are the things I need to change here? Runner sections, the ratio of in-gates and in-gate cross section and pouring time variations. So here runner and in-gate cross sections 6 different size. Pouring time 4 different times. And total possible designs it will be. So this is my different designs which you are going to implement single simulations iterations. These 2 conditions I am implementing in single time, so total designs I got 24 designs. What are the quality criteria we can consider over here? So in Magma default we have the quality criteria like, so during the filling what are the, so see balanced filling, smooth filling and a reduced flux and a reduced in-gate velocity and align mesh. So these are the different kinds of quality criteria during filling as well as the solidification related. The solidification related we can see the reduced porosity, reduced microporosity, reduced hot air, hotspot FS time, as well as the production related we can say reduce the cycle time. For example, non-ferrous people they have to reduce the cycle time as well as the reduce the fill time and maximum cooling rate as well as the increase the yield. So these main quality criteria which we can consider during the simulations, as well as what are the objective we can consider. See here reduce gate velocity, reduce, so these are the objectives. Whatever objective we need you have to select over the during the simulations. So here statistical analysis we can take over to analyze the designs. Whatever we run the 24 designs, it will be giving the ranking systems. Which is the rank 1, which is the final rank. So based on our objective. So this is the objective which we are consider increase yield, reduce air entrapment and reduce air pressure and reduce gate velocity, the reduce porosity. So all objectives it will be considering the maximum level of weightage. So it will be giving the rank 1, our rank 1 is the 10th designs. So we run the single simulations. In the single simulation we got the 24 designs. In the 24 designs we are getting the ranking systems which we are quantifying the results based on our quality. So 10th design is best designs. And one more statistical analysis we can compare. One is porosity as well as yield. The blue color indicating the porosity variations and orange color indicating the yield variations. So here we can see less porosity as well as yield also very less. This is the yield, orange color, the blue color. The porosity is less, yield also is less. Okay, so acceptable level of porosity we can accept it, we can take it. So we can take average porosity as well as yield also average. Then maximum level of porosity as well as maximum level of, so this is we are not considering because the porosity is defect of casting is more. So we can consider at average level of, you have to concentrate on the yield also, productivity as well as the quality of castings. So this is one of statistical analysis to predict the good quality of castings. And one more statistical analysis we can say the scatter chart with bubble size. Based on the bubble size we can, so bubble size we can say the reduced air pressures. If we do reduce the air pressure, we can control the air entrapment as well as the air related issue, gas porosity and scabbing issues, that thing. So wherever the small bubble size, it will showing the bubble size is small, very small, it will be, we can take the air pressure is very low during the filling. So we can concentrate on the, which is the less bubble size, that we can concentrate. As well as we have to consider on the porosity. So wherever showing the porosity, the level of porosity, the minimum level of porosity we can achieve the 10th designs. And one more, based on the gating, in-gate velocity, the gate velocity we can consider the which is the best one, the 10th designs. The in-gate velocity should be less, as well as reduce porosity. Based on the porosity we can assumption this. So this is 10th designs, it will be give the best designs. And one more statistical analysis, here we can consider the all input variables as well as the output variables. So you can see whatever the input variables, pouring time we are given, and a different geometry, in-gate geometry we are given. So this is output variables, what we are output got. So air entrapment, air pressure, and in-gate velocity, and reduced porosity, and increased yield. So all the things here we are considering. So let me check. Our first premier objective, increase the yield. So these all lines are indicating is the maximum level of yield percentage. And the my secondary objective is reduce porosity. So in that level of yield, the 68% yield we are getting, in that which is the minimum porosity which we are getting, that we can get the, what is the pouring time, it could be 10 seconds, and what is the geometry, the fourth geometry it will be good designs, and the air entrapment it will be less value, and air pressure will be lesser value, and gate velocity also lesser value. So porosity also minimum porosity, and yield we are getting the maximum yield. So as our objectives, the selected design, the 10th design is our, it will be showing the best designs. Here one more statistic, we can see the main effective diagram. So based on reduced porosity, here we are considering the pouring time. So based on, if it is pouring time vary, your porosity level will be vary. If you pouring the quick pouring, the porosity based on your temperature variations, so what will happen, your porosity may be vary. As well as the air pressures. So initial stage based on our different geometry, the in-gate velocity, based on the in-gate velocity. So initially it will be higher velocity is going, so what will happen, air pressure will be high. So once the gate velocity will be reduced, your air pressure will be reduced. And one more statistical analysis, the reduced in-gate velocity as well as pouring time. Same pouring time as well as reduced in-gate velocity we can see. So if it is velocity, the pouring time will be increased, your velocity, the in-gate velocity will be increased. The pouring time will be reduced, the velocity will be reduced. So this is the overall correlation matrix. Whatever we discussed the main effective diagram, the it will be conclude. So reduced porosity and the geometry exchange. So it will be give you the, which is the, so based on that, then reduce gate velocity as well as we can the pouring time, what will affect on the over this. The effect of the, we can say the positive correlation matrix and the negative correlation matrix. So which will affect. So the red color showing it will be positive impact. Whatever the blue color showing the negative impact. So this is best designs which are the 10th designs. This is solidification results. This is the porosity of the different gating systems with porosity images. So second case studies which we are going to discuss now. So this is the one plate type iron castings. So basically the iron, this casting is this casting, what will happen, it is not failure at the quality level, it is failure at the application wise, wherever the applications within 1 year they are getting the casting will be breakage. So let me see what is the issue on this one. So this is the casting which they made the methoding over this. So we are analyzing the results with the difference. So they are making the service scratch notice at the marked locations. So the magma shows the microporosity over here. So what will happen during applying the load? Due to this microporosity, the casting get breakage after 1 year. So we are analyzing with the simulations. So based on our size of risers as well as distance between those risers. So distance between those risers we can reduce the microporosity level. So that we can check in the simulations. So this is the different designs which you are considering over here, as well as distance wise as well as size of riser wise. So how it will be affect. So this is my objective: reduce porosity, reduce microporosity, as well as I need to consider the productivity of increased yield. The possible designs, 27 designs I am getting. So based on the ranking system, same whatever the statistical analysis, the 14th design is I am getting the less microporosity. So here see 14th designs, the microporosity is less, the yield also is moderate yield. So here I am considering the statistical analysis. So which I am considering the reduced microporosity, the less microporosity over here. Here my select the 5th designs and the 14th designs, here it will be best designs. Same, the microporosity based on the neck size, the riser size, as well as the LCS, the different distance between the two risers, as well as the movement of LCS, which location is to be preferable. So this is the minimum microporosity which you are getting from these designs. The 14th designs we are getting the minimum level of microporosity. So this is different designs based on the microporosity with size of different risers. So next, optimizations of mechanical and metallurgical related, how it could be affect during the chemical composition changes. So this is the geometry which you have took the case studies, casting, core and chill. So which you have took the GJL 150, the initial temperature and whatever we are taking the input. So the total possible designs here we can see the 15,000 designs. Whatever you took. So carbon alloy, see carbon percentage.
Sir, excuse me, sorry to interrupt. Sir, we are already running out of time, so we have another 2 minutes. If you
Okay,
can
thank
just,
you.
yeah.
So this is one more possible designs. Here we are considering the chemical compositions, the lower limit, upper limit. So let me discuss the results. So this is itotic cell size. So what will be, how it will be vary. So if it is initial temperature, there is no effect on the initial temperature to itotic cell size. And silicon percentage also there is no impact. And we can see inoculations. If we change the inoculations method, so this here we can say the fair good, very good means we are inoculations using the in furnace as well as a ladle as well as in mold as a stream. So whatever we are considering over here, if it is inoculation method will be changed, so your itotic cell size it will be vary. Same fraction of austenite, the metallurgical property, so which will it be more effective, the carbon. So initial temperature there is no effect, silicon percent there is no much effect, we can consider in the carbon percentage. So lower carbon percentage, the fraction of austenite is higher level, 3.6 is the lower level of your fraction of austenite. As well as itotic paste size. So your impact, there is no initial temperature impact, carbon impact it will be there after 3.5% of the carbon, your itotic phase will be increased. So as well as the inoculations also it will be increased. So next, laminar spacing. The laminar spacing it will be impact only on the inoculations. and undercooling graphite. So undercooling graphite, so sometimes it will be based on the carbon percentage, it will be variations. The impact will be happen carbon percentage as well as the inoculant method. And white solidification, there is impact, all whatever you given the impact, whatever you given the inputs. So this is a mechanical property, the minimum tensile strength will happen, the initial temperature also, the carbon percentage will be variations, your tensile strength will be vary, and the manganese percentage it will be vary. And hardness predictions, if you change the initial temperature, your hardness will be vary. If you change the chemical carbon percentage, the hardness will be vary. So there is no impact on the silicon percentage and the graphite, GB graphite precipitations, there is no impact, much impact. Inoculations also there is no much impact on the hardness, only much impact on the initial temperature as well as the carbon percentage variations. So here see the Young's modulus of castings, when your carbon percentage will be vary, so only otherwise there is no input to impact with the Young's modulus. So one more new, we are introducing the Magma Express into the market. So this will be helps only basic filling and solidifications, not for mechanical and metallurgical product. Whatever we are facing the defect over in the foundry, not for quality criteria, whatever it may be. So it will be basic. Without optimizations, we can run the simulations by using the Magma Express. So this is.
Excuse me, sir. Sorry to interrupt, sir, but we are running short of time, so we have to conclude your presentation here. And
Okay.
We have these presentation CDs already made, and we'll be distributing it to our clients. So, sir, and
Okay, thank you so much.
yeah, thank you so much, sir. So, may I request Dr. Gnanamurthy to hand over the memento to one of our to the author, please.